Hello everybody. I see the room has been emptying very nicely in the warm-up to our event, so why don't our gorgeous panel just come up, Roaya, Duncan and Mert, and we can get on with the show. Maybe some technical issues. How do I sound? Is everything okay over there? It's a little bit echoey. But, are we okay? We're all good? Fantastic. Amazing. So this is a theme that's kind of followed me around. I've just come from London where I've been talking about the same subject, about thriving in the workplace. And certainly in my role now as a reformed operator and now as a leadership and transformational coach and an advisor in the workplace, I come across this an awful lot. And certainly I know the team here a great deal about the challenges that they've been facing. I've also been struck about the impact of inflation, the impact of the Great Resignation, which is really, really impacting our industry an awful lot. And it just goes to prove that agile leadership and entrepreneurial spirit is a must in whatever industry we're in. But we're in the hospitality industry, and we must be doing something right, I think, if people are leaving our industry to go off elsewhere. But I think James has a view on whether the people are leaving the industry and how many are actually coming back. And I think he's going to share something with us at some stage. But without further ado, what I've been fascinated with is this cultural revolution that's happening here in Saudi Arabia. And it's been a couple of years since I've been away, but over the last 10 years since I first came here to having that fearful briefing as to what I could do and what I couldn't do to where we are today. We could almost be in any other country, like the previous speakers spoke about, aspiring to being like New York and Las Vegas and London and Paris. It's such an exciting space. And I want to get under the skin of three incredible leaders that we have here. Now then, I know Duncan and I know Mert. We've shared stages and coffee chats and bar meetings and all sorts. We've never met before, Roaya. So I'm really excited to kind of hear really what you have to say. So I'm going to ask you to kind of open up and just ask you a little bit about what has inspired you to create your great business. You're going to introduce yourself first, if you may, and just introduce yourself to the audience. But what is it about your business where you've been able to grow in a region, not just one region, but across the region, but you're particularly famous here and around the world, I know. Why didn't you take us through that, and we'll take it from there.
Hello, everyone. Am I being listened to? This is working? Okay.
Yes.
So my name is Roaya Saleh, an entrepreneur and chef of my own brand, Villa Mamas. I know that a lot of locals that are seated here already have heard and tasted the food that we present in Villa Mamas, wherever we are, in Bahrain or in Abu Dhabi or in London. So what inspired me to start this business is the lack of freshness, the lack of appreciation for anything that was local back in 2012 when we started. People visiting Bahrain didn't have the opportunity to actually visit any local restaurant that serves local fresh restaurant in a fantastic pleasant ambiance. At that time there was none, so I found a niche when I started Villa Mamas. I wanted to give the experience of to the customers that were looking for a full experience, from hospitality, from ambiance, from the perfect food sourced locally. You've seen me being so emotional earlier on when Emma and Atul were talking because of my love for this land, wherever it is, in Bahrain or any GCC country. Locals deserve a chance to prosper. Locals and local farmers need a chance to be out there and promote their produce. So yes, this is why I started Villa Mamas, because there was no restaurant that served local food in the way that it deserved.
But you've also combined that with talent within the business, and we're talking about thriving in the workplace, and you've recognized this absolute need for freshness and high quality food and the environment as well, but you've also brought that onto the floor within your leadership and your team as well.
Absolutely. We take human capital very seriously at Villa Mamas. Sustainability of the brand relies so much on the human capital that we train, mentor, and develop as much as we can. So yes, we are leaders and pioneers in inspiring locals, especially youth. So we are taking youth with the training and mentorship to different levels, and really the market really needs that, and we are giving the help and assistance to those youth, and they are with us everywhere we are.
No, that's fantastic, and I've seen that in the other two brands as well, and to the young veterans. And I know we are in our late 30s now, so, and it's I think self-bestowed veteran title for ourselves. But I mean, with your brands, I mean, you've established themselves as amongst the most respected, I think, in the premium polished casual sector of the industry, and you've grown steadily with real strength over years, and actually come out of this period quite strongly. But you've done it for a reason, I think, and I have a view that one of the key reasons for this is about why people stay is because leaders enable, stand back, and empower, and I've seen this evident in your business. But what is it about you that has enabled you to personally thrive in your business and thereafter your teams? Duncan?
Yeah, shall I start? So in a way, I'm in a very fortunate situation. I work for a brand that is loved, is desired, is a brand we own, operate, and it's not a franchise or anything. So we have full love and appreciation for what we do. And we've been able to let that filter through the whole organization. So everyone in our team is part of a community. And it's something about shared winning. All of our goals are unified. And a lot of the team have been with us since Cafe Bateel started on the map 14 years ago. A lot of our managers started as waiters. And I think it's a journey that's got started from the beginning with the vision of our owners, and the people element is so important in what we do. And I think every hospitality company says that, and they all mean it. But we thrive on our teams being motivated. There's massive growth opportunities for them within the company. We try as much as possible to do internal promotions rather than external recruitment for senior positions. And we're constantly identifying people to develop. And obviously, we provide the resources for them to train, develop. But a lot of it is driven by a leadership team that is connected to the business. We don't have multiple brands and multiple operations in different segments. We are a restaurant company, parallel to a date company. And everything we do is about what happens on our floors of our restaurants and the teams. So I think the connectivity between the leadership and the team that deliver the amazing guest experiences is one of probably the biggest success factors in our journey to date.
Yeah, so, and I think it is fairly contrived, isn't it? So we believe in our people. It comes from the top, doesn't it? And we hear it a lot, don't we? But I've sat in your boardroom, and I've experienced it. That actually there is this deep passion from the message from the board, from the chairman, from the owner, down to you as a senior leadership team that does cascade into the business. And with Mert, yours is a much more wider business. You're not just F&B, you're retail, and you own some of the biggest brands that there are in the region. So how do you enable your leaders to thrive in your workplace?
Well, first, this is not working.
Maybe take Duncan's because his was working.
Maybe I also have some extra energy that kills the mics. Assalamu alaikum. Very happy to be here. Maybe I briefly introduce the company. I work for Azadea. I'm the head of the restaurant business of Azadea. Azadea is a major retailer in the region, operating in more than 14 countries and more than 600 units across various brands. In F&B, we are almost a $200 million business with brands like Paul, Italy, or the Butcher Shop and Grill, which are all existing also here in Saudi Arabia. We've been operating in Saudi for more than 15 years. That's a bit of a challenge, which I will talk later. But coming back to the question, it's actually not much different than what the colleagues were mentioning. It's about the people and how you treat them and how you include them. And I was thinking how to answer this. It's about three things for us. It starts with inclusion. So we include all our team members into every decision making. Actually, the strategy of the company, I mean, the overall goal is to have sustainable value creation. But the strategy of the company is bottom up. So we go back to the field and start there building what are the different levers that we need to play with to reach that goal. Secondly, we are very transparent. I worked with other companies before. This is the most transparent organization. I've been a waiter in our restaurants, has access to all the data from leasing contracts to franchise contracts to any P&L of any unit, not only his store, but any other store as well. So we are very transparent. But maybe most importantly, there is a culture of empowerment in this organization, and this is maybe half the reason I'm here after 9 years. I've been in this role for 9 years, and what motivates me, and I think what motivates the team and helps them thrive and stay, is really empowerment. We are empowered to make decisions. We are accountable. That accountability comes through authority. And if I have to summarize what is that, the real essence of that authority is we are authorized to make mistakes. So we are allowed to make mistakes. And there is a tolerance to make mistakes, and that lets people be not complacent, but, thriving. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And I've actually seen that, and I experienced it with your team, when we sat in Italy with your leadership team. There's this absolute desire to dream big, be big, open more units, and be literally amazing on the floor. And I've worked with one of your leaders who, even though she's not with you anymore, she still speaks with heart of your business. And I think that is testament to your leadership. It truly is. I want to avoid using the C word in conference, but I think it's inevitable that I think we must. We've come out of, a pretty damning pandemic, and hopefully one that we never come across. But in my role now as a coach and as a mentor to senior leaders, not just in the hospitality industry, it's the same across industry. It's the same across commerce, manufacturing, hospitality, F&B, everywhere. Leaders have endured the last 2.5 years, and they've had to be strong, and they've had to lead from the front. And now, as we've come out, we've had this perfect storm where, we've had to pivot on our heels very, very quickly. And I want to kind of understand, how have you managed over the last couple of years? And what have you done to really, really stay strong, stay stoic? And now, are you leading differently? Are you approaching things differently with your team? Roaya?
Just trying to start this.
Don't switch them off. I think that's the key.
Hello?
Thank you so much. So communication is, there are a lot of elements really that kept us going.
Yes.
And communication with the team, being one unit, is one of them. Staying abrupt with news and with government officials, communicating with the market in general. In my situation, especially, that I am a very active person in terms of in social media, and I'm a risk taker really. I do take risks, and I own the result of that risk that I take. So during the start of the pandemic, I had to be the first restaurant to announce closure. And I was even contacted by the Crown Prince office saying, what's going on? Is this serious? Are you really? Yes, because the well-being of my staff is #1 priority. So we didn't know. The situation was vague. No one knew what was happening. All we heard was this risk of people getting, infected. So that was my decision, and I'm glad that I took that decision very early on, and that enabled me and my team to continue being, alert on the situation and taking care of our employees. Saved us.
And was it the same in reopening?
Yes, we are pioneers in this business, in Bahrain especially. We are pioneers, and we are proud to be pioneers. Yes, we took it, slowly, and as it comes, like governments did. So we looked at our costs. Of course, we had to shrink our costs. We looked at human capital. We looked at everything, really. And now we are starting to regain.
Duncan, what are you doing differently now?
I think we've come out of it a lot quicker than we thought.
Yeah.
So as a result, we've had to react to a very lean team, sales that have far exceeded what we expected and even pre-COVID levels in a lot of our markets. And we've had to react. We've had to be on our feet. We're a lot flatter structure as a result, which I think is actually a real advantage now, because we're closer to the business as a leadership team. The layers between us and the waiter or the chef is less, and we've had to react and improvise in ways we would never thought we would. Technology, I think, we've accelerated all of our embracing of any technology, whether it's the checklists, compliance, whether it's automated queuing systems for doors. Because we're lean, obviously there is a challenge on recruiting good people at the moment. So I think we look at technology a lot more different than we did before. Yeah. And I think that's going to lead us into a much better place in the future. So our teams, I think good companies, I think all of us looked after our teams during the pandemic, and now we're being rewarded for that in terms of a high degree of loyalty. I think respect and trust in organisations that looked after their teams is now being cashed in when we're asking them to work extra hard or go to this site, and they do it willingly because they know we help them. So I think most industries probably can say they're in a better place now, and I think a lot of restaurants are the same.
I think trust and leadership and empowerment are three really great values that have come out of, I think, the last couple of years, Mert.
Let me try. Yeah, this is working now. I wasn't sure it was going to try. Actually, very similar things that has been told already. I don't want to repeat them. I think key for us to get through this difficult period was over-communication, connecting with the teams on the ground, obviously using technology while doing that. It's been tough. It hasn't been easy. It was very tough. It continues to be challenging, I would say. It's definitely better than before, but it's challenging. What's for me personally most challenging, what was personally for me most challenging was not being able to travel. And I'm a fan of remote working, but remote working is not, having your shorts and the shirts and being in front of a screen. This is remote working for me. Visiting the stores, touching the people, be it our people or being the customer, this is the remote working. And I'm glad I'm working remotely here now and on the stage. That's it, maybe.
I'm mindful of time.
Something is blinking.
But I think if there's, let's not forget, we're in Saudi Arabia. We're experiencing this extraordinary cultural revolution that I mentioned earlier. I think we've probably got about 20 or 30 seconds each to say, if there was one thing that you could offer up to the industry here now as we do emerge so rapidly, what would it be from your own leadership?
Well, very brief. We believe in the vision. We are committed to the vision, and it's not a trial, it's not a test, it's not a pilot. That commitment needs to flow through the ground, and then everything becomes reality. You believe, and what you believe becomes reality.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think it's not about quotas, it's not about getting your visa status. This is about embracing the Saudi population, and our team on the ground here have done an amazing job. We have several Saudis now who've been promoted multiple times through the organisation. Everyone talks about attrition, but they've been with us for several years, and they're the face of our business now. They're brand ambassadors, and they do it with passion and pride. So I think if you embed them in the system, as you would do with anyone else, it's not just about fulfilling numbers or quotas, then it works. We've proven it works. So our team, it's amazing what we've achieved here, and I think a lot of other organisations have done the same.
I agree. So we started with you, we'll finish with you. We'll give you the finale.
Thank you. So we are opening very soon in Roaya, Villa Mamas. Exactly. And I am hoping to employ 100% of Saudi youth.
Wow.
My plan is to guide, empower Saudis because of my belief in their talents. I am also planning to work very closely hand in hand with Saudi farmers because I have worked with them and I believe in their produce, so I can't wait.
I think that, for me, is a huge message, not just for Saudi, but to the hospitality industry around the world. For those people who doubt what is going on here or who don't understand what's going on here, if that message can be conveyed through this room, I think that's an extraordinary message.
Farmers, especially in the GCC region, like now the UAE has gone miles ahead as usual with everything else, but we are learning. We are, brothers and sisters. Our leaderships are encouraging, moving forward, taking the example of the UAE. I think the farmers and the youth both need our expertise. So as long as the governments are being supportive, as long as entrepreneurs and businesses are supportive, I think the sky is the limit.
Well, thank you. It would, I am one of tradition, and tradition is to overrun, so I apologize to anybody who has a problem with that. So, James, thank you, everybody, for giving us the stage.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you.